Danya, I've had some of your other colleagues from SDNY, including David Kelly, who used to run the office. I've said to them what I'll say to you, which is your office is sometimes criticized for playing such hardball that it seems like you're really beating up and scaring people just so they'll cooperate, not for their underlying crime. I'm not bringing up a specific case with you, but I wonder what you think about the kind of hardball we're seeing here. Because as Joyce mentions, it looks like they're really trying to put the fear into Weisselberg and his whole family. Of course, if there was a crime, there was a crime. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think we can bring up a specific case because you just mentioned Michael Cohen, and he has publicly said that part of the reason he resolved to plead guilty is because the U.S. Attorney's Office was putting a squeeze on his family members. It is, there's plenty of precedent for that kind of arm twisting where you see, the prosecutors really going in for, maximum hit by looking at family members or friends or people that the target wants to protect. And so, as Joyce said, we don't know what the angle is here, but one could certainly imagine a scenario in which, there have certainly been public reports that they're going after Weisselberg, that there are mountains of documentary evidence, millions of pages of it, but they really do need a guide to walk a jury through what can be very difficult, painstaking kind of testimony about these records. And so they need someone exactly like Alan Weisselberg, the so-called eyes and ears of the Trump organization. And one way to get him to flip, of course, is to apply maximum pressure, not just on him, but perhaps on his family members. And so these kinds of tax evasions, if that's what they are, they could be a gift, as you said, as we have discussed, but also it could be, as you said early on, a fringe benefit that should be taxable that may not have been. And that's certainly one of the angles that they're going to be looking at.
And Danya, to ask the very basic question, if Mr. Weisselberg is doing pretty well, why take such a big apparent risk just to cheat on some taxes, allegedly?
Well, there's been a lot of discussion about the whole kind of modus operandi of the organization, and Mr. Weisselberg himself has taken a lot of pride in saying, trying to get every last nickel for the organization. And so this was Barry Weisselberg who testified that he made something like $200,000. I think he testified that in his divorce proceeding. And yet he lived in this multi-million-dollar apartment. His children went to, $50,000 a year plus a year school in Manhattan. And there were some other perks, according at least to Barry Weisselberg's wife. So I can't guess, Joyce and I have seen it a million times where you're surprised that that a defendant is willing to do the stupid things that they do that end up getting them in trouble when there's a clear paper trail. But again, this is some speculation, and the DA's office is certainly laboring to figure out whether this was a gift or not.